How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another video. In today's video we are going to be doing an update of Baltimore Thurgood International Airport. Just like usual, we don't have a lot to report, so without further ado, let's go ahead and get straight on into this. Starting off here, we have this FedEx Boeing 757-200. He's going to be heading out to Memphis after coming in from Indianapolis. Next along here at the cargo stands, we have this UPS Boeing 767-300. He's going to be heading out to Louisville, Kentucky later on today. And then finally here for the cargo ramp, we have this UPS Boeing 747-8F, and he's going to be heading out to Anchorage, Alaska. Next up, moving on to the Spirit gates, here we have a Spirit Airbus A321. He's just arrived in from Las Vegas, Nevada, and he's going to be heading out to Orlando in Florida. Moving along, next up here we have this Spirit Airbus A320neo. He's arrived in from Atlanta, and he's going to be heading out to Myrtle Beach. I really hope that Gemini Jets keep up this trend of releasing Spirit models. Of course, the A321 and the A320neo are a few months old at this point, so I'm hoping they're not now jumping off of the Spirit train and we're not going to get any more for ages. I'm really hoping for an A319 and of course a regular A320, but at this point we can only really hope. Next up here, moving on to Delta, here we have a Delta Airbus A319. He's of course making the round trip to Detroit. Next up, following on from him, here we have this United Express Embraer 175. He's of course going to be heading out to Houston Intercontinental. I found myself just naturally kind of deviating to using this old livery United Embraer 175 in my updates, just because this mold is so much better than the new one from Gemini Jets. Of course, the wings with the new livery, they're so steep, it's just unrealistic. I'm really hoping that Gemini Jets find a way to fix that and then release another new livery, a United Embraer 175. And then on top of that, the new livery Embraer 175s, this isn't really Gemini Jets' fault, and I've said this in a couple of videos before, but the new livery Embraer 175s, they're not actually realistic anymore because those are the ExpressJet Embraer 175s and they collapsed due to the pandemic. The old livery, this one, is a SkyWest Embraer 175, and SkyWest are still operating Embraer 175s, and so although this one is in the old livery, technically this one is more realistic to have in airport updates. But there we go, a bit like the Spirits, we can only really hope at this point that Gemini Jets actually kind of get their game together and kind of release a new livery Embraer 175 with the regular wings. Speaking of the new livery, next up here we have this United 737-800. He's going to be heading out to Denver, Colorado. Next up here, just pushing back, we have this Frontier A320neo, and although I hate this model just because of the engine size and the mold in general, it just sucks, I feel like I've at least got to include this into some updates just to kind of have some, variation, because I keep on deviating to that Era Classics A320. But for realism's sake, I probably should use this model more, even though I kind of hate it. And as well as that, we do have the Frontier A321 on the way, so as soon as I get that, they do occasionally fly into Baltimore. They're not a common occurrence, but the A321, it does come occasionally, so I could use it as a once or twice off kind of thing. But for now, here we have this Frontier A320neo. He's going to be heading out to Denver after coming in from Miami. And then finishing off with this terminal, here we have the American Eagle Embraer 175. He's going to be heading out to Chicago O'Hare. And next up, moving on to the Southwest terminal, starting off here, we have this Southwest Airlines 737-700 in the Heart livery. He's arrived in from Nashville and he's going to be heading out to Boston. At this point, this model is another really old one. This was released in 2015. In fact, I remember I pretty much just started my channel when I got this model. I think if you go back to my first ever update, I think I was actually talking about how I had this model in the mail. And so it's pretty interesting to see that in the entire time that I've had my channel, we haven't actually had another Southwest Heart livery 737-700 released. And considering this is probably one of the most common aircraft around the United States, that's kind of a letdown on Gemini Jets' behalf. But of course, we should be getting one from NG Models pretty soon. They did release that Canyon Blue 737-700 with the split scimitars, but I didn't actually go for that just because I currently have more Canyon Blue models than I do have Heart livery models, and that shouldn't be the way it should be around. And so from now on, I've made a pledge that except for special liveries, I'm not going to get any more Canyon Blue models. I'm just going to be getting the Heart models. But I can assure you, when we get that Southwest 737-700 in the Heart livery, I'm probably going to get 3, 4, maybe 5, depends on kind of my money situation at the time. We'll have to see, but I do plan on getting quite a few of them. Next up, moving along, we have this Southwest Airlines 737-700 in the Tennessee 1 color scheme. He's arrived in from Grand Rapids and he's going to be heading out to Chicago O'Hare. Next along here we have a Southwest Airlines 737-800 in the Heart livery. He's arrived in from Orlando and he's going to be heading out to Fort Lauderdale. This is another model I really hope NG models re-release, because of course we got the release of these. I got 2 of them, which is still pretty decent, but in a realistic setting, I need more than 2. 737-800s in the Heart livery, so I'm really hoping that NG has a re-release of this model, a bit like what they did with the United 737-800s. Of course, I fell short of getting the United 737-800 the first time around, so I had to get them the second time they released them. So I'm really hoping that NG release some more of these aircraft. But moving on, we have another Southwest Airlines 737-800 in the Heart livery. He's just arrived in from Phoenix Sky Harbor and he's going to be heading out to Charlotte. Next along here we have a Southwest Airlines 737-800 in the Canyon Blue color scheme. He's arrived in from New Orleans and he's going to be heading out to San Juan. And then finally here for the Southwest Terminal, here we have this Southwest Airlines 737-700 in the Florida 1 color scheme. He's just arrived in from St. Louis and he's going to be heading out to Punta Cana. And then finally here, wrapping up the update, we have this Southwest Airlines 737 MAX 8. He arrived in from West Palm Beach a while back and he's now going to be heading out to San Antonio. The Southwest 737 MAX, they are actually coming back to Baltimore. There's quite the number of routes that have been operated on the 737 MAX 8. Of course, Southwest schedule their routes a little bit different to the legacy airlines. They kind of just come in and then go out somewhere else. But I've seen these coming in from, Dallas, Denver, as I said, West Palm Beach and San Antonio. Those were the reasons why I added those routes in. But I did go through Flight Radar 24. The day I'm recording this, we had 12 flights on the 737 MAX 8 into Baltimore, which is pretty impressive. It's nice to see, those flights picking back. Of course, there are these, rumored electronic kind of failures on the 737 MAX, so, we'll have to see what happens to this aircraft. But for now, at least, it's nice to see these operate in and out of BWI. And apart from that, that does conclude this update of Baltimore Thurgood International Airport. I hope you did enjoy. Again, I hope you have a great rest of your weekend. And apart from that, I want to thank you very much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.